Guys, shelf life 22. What's going on? This isn't scripted. Take a deep breath. We're going to talk about books. We're going to talk about our reading. We're going to talk about where the hell I've been. I took last week off. I kind of didn't have a whole lot to report on. That week was kind of like the week that's going to be coming up, where I set some lofty goals for myself in the beginning of the year. That was fun, the 25 or 25, making all sorts of lists. But I kind of held myself to that, and I burned out. I burned out reading this thing. I just realized it's Super Bowl Sunday. I'm not a big football guy. So I don't think a whole lot of people are going to watch this. But anyways, probably uploading it tomorrow. This, I've been waiting to say this all week, and I'm looking at Mr. Henry right now. I have a signed picture on the wall. He wrote an article, Henry Rollins, about the band, this channel's favorite band, SUNN. I could grab it, but theatrics. He said that he went to one of the shows to see what it was all about, and he saw people leaving after the show. He saw people like walking out, not like this sucks, but in a defeated, they have been beaten by the pressure of the sound. They were done. They'd had enough. And that is what this book is like. I want to keep reading it. I don't want to change to the count. As good as it is, I don't want to change over to the count. This is incredible, but I don't know if I'm following anything. And every time I get to there's not really a landmark, like numbers of chapters. There's just these big chunks. There's 4 big chunks. And then I'm not going to open it all the way because I'm holding that. I'm saving the spine. See those squares? Those are the chapter breaks. And then there's 4 big chunks. So I keep getting to the 4 big chunks. And then I have a conversation with my scribe robot professor, Mr. ChatGPT. And, it's the best I can do solo and not doing book clubs and in my own world. But I go for little reviews, and it fills me in on what's going on. And the book is amazing. Bear with me. It's been a week, and I've had feelings about that all week. And now let's go. Let's spitball into this. So I didn't take a bunch of crazy notes, but in reading back to see, all right, maybe if I do have some notes, I wrote this down because, as you can see, my notes have evolved to more traditional, and this is for a reason. Let's go back. Madness. Charts, graphs. Here we go. Let's get a good example. See, this is like a normal day for me. These are my normal notes, but lately we've been writing. We've been working on the craft of writing. So in looking for the notes for Gravity's Rainbow, because I have to have something to say. It's not like every time I keep coming back and I'm reading these surrealist, absurd postmodern books, and I have to say to you, it's weird. And that's not fair to you. So I've been trying to take more notes, but like last week, and a lot of overtime. I didn't do last week because I didn't have a lot to read, and I'm just trying to get through Gravity's Rainbow, and all I can say is it's crazy, man. And then I got like really angsty over the 25 for 25. I'm like, oh my God, it's already February. You need to get another episode out. I don't know if I'm even going to number this, but this is 22. There we go. I feel like I just got something off my chest with you. So, are we cool? In looking for notes, I found GRIG1. I don't know what that means. Oh, I know exactly what this means. Anyways, this book has been consuming my reading life, and I'm not sure if the paranoia is by design or it's just perfect timing. But it's fun, but it's a fun read. Further, I've never encountered a book that exhausts me when I want to keep reading. I've told myself, like a child, to go do something lighter, dystopian, mid-war, future, scum aesthetic is so effective and surreal, I'm recognizing parallels to it in my own life and experiencing them in the present. The book is something that requires soaking time to reflect on the larger detached picture, but it is hard while being blasted from obscure polymer makeup to high command dominatrix encounters to random looming blasts, never letting up on the chance of one's impending doom. It's awesome, but has slowed me. It is a harder tree to chop than Lonesome Dove, for sure. Overall, really enjoying it. I think that sums up how I've been reading in the past 2 weeks. So let's fill you in on what's been going on. Whenever I get a minute, I try to read this. This is hard to read. It's easy to just, it's hard to focus, but it's fun to read this. For those of you who have read this and are enjoying watching me trudge through it, let me know if that makes sense. Fun read, hard to focus on. I kind of know what's going on, but I have no idea what's going on. But it's very addicting. I think I've said it before. It's kind of like my personal Infinite Jest film. It's like I'm still watching. But I keep doing the AI check-ins to make sure it's like we start off strong, and then we get like midway to one of these parts, and then it's like you're driving real fast through the salt flats, and then all of a sudden your car, at the end of the ride, it starts getting really, am I comprehending what's going on? And then it stops, and then I check in. So I'm on page, let's check, 468. I was trying to finish. I want this done by the end of February. I want this. That's the goal. Hard goal. Now, what happened? What else happened? I understand. And like with the SUNN thing, it was too much. If we want to keep up our reading goals, we need some quick wins. We need some quick wins. And this is like a game. I understand it doesn't matter, and I understand about book number counts and quality over quantity, but I've never like shifted into this gear. It's difficult, but it's still fun. Still beginning of the year. Don't give up. So I finished the other day Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, and I did it in my phone. And the way that I did it, I know you guys know that I've been playing with the settings in iBooks, and there's a setting where you could have, I like dark mode on everything. It's good for my eyes. And I also like, there's like a highlight line, and you could set it to if you just tap your screen, just like scrolling. It's that easy. But it highlights one line across. So you can put it on your desk and tap, 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 and it just hits a line. It hits a line, it hits a line. I read like all of Meditations through like a work blitz training. Like I have to do it once a year, and because of my job and it's adjacent to welding, it has like, I don't do lockout tagout, but like I understand like we have to do lockout tagout, and it's all the same training at once. Okay, I'll go. There's like hundreds of people in the same room. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, I'm paying attention. It's just like when I used to draw on my arm in high school. It's like I'm paying attention, but I'm doing other stuff too. So I finished Meditations the other day. I thought I had 20 pages left, but like the last 20 was just straight up notes. It was just all like references, notes. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm done. So there was that's my first book of the year. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. Done. That's a wrap. I listened to it before, didn't retain it from just audio. Coming back to reading it physically, like visually, with no words, no speaking, I feel like I retained so much more, and I don't know if I got said message. It wouldn't have worked for this. If I did the tunnel and I just read it, I would not have got the same attitude as when William Gass read it to me. That's different. So I'm seeing that there's a lot of different approaches to these kinds of things. And I did meditations after really slamming. I was doing like 40 pages a day on GR. And when I was doing those 40 pages, it was just like daunting. And I'm doing this on overtime with like not a whole ton of sleep. So it's taxing. So when the Blitz training came that I was supposed to go do, that was like a day off. And I finished the book, and it makes you question and detach and realize you're reading chops. And I'm realizing that my reading chops, my endurance for literature or difficult things is not good, but it's progressing, which is what the point of this has been. Another thing, I don't know if I've said this before. It's been a minute. I missed you guys. In doing so much I did talk about this. In doing so much reading, you have to be for me, whenever I involve myself in something, I have to create with it. I have to involve myself. I can't be a fan of something. I can't be a fan of writing until I involve myself with reading. I did say this with painting, and then sports. I got to be able to participate. So what was it? It was like when TikTok went away. TikTok kind of screwed me up, and it changed the way that I think about creating content. And when I didn't have to think about creating content in minute-long snippets or 90-minute, I kept it to a minute because across the board, a minute worked for YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and TikTok. But since TikTok has gone away, there hasn't been a big pull for me to make short content whatsoever. And that kind of screwed up my whole way of thinking about the channel and making content as a whole. And it just kind of pushed me off center. Like, it's not like I'm all upset about TikTok. I really could care less, and it's probably a benefit to me, but it kind of shook. Well, why am I making this kind of content? And I looked at old content, and I'm like, I don't like this anymore. So what are you trying to do, man? What's the whole point of this channel? To read more, to get smarter, and work on the craft, like start doing some writing. The haikus, I almost stopped doing the haikus every day. I was going to do them personally, I'll still do them and then release them on Instagram in a block at the end of the week. But the day that I was feeling like that, someone reached out to me and said, I really like these haikus every day. They kind of make my day. So it's like one person, it's all it takes. So send that comment to anyone. Like and subscribe. That would make me feel great too. So thank you. Like and subscribe. 13 minutes in. Like and subscribe. Highly appreciate it. If you're this far, like, you dig this stuff. You dig it. So there will be more. I'm not going anywhere. I just took a break last week because I didn't have much to talk about. But this week, I am just rambling. Maybe it's caffeine. Maybe I'm getting ready for another big overtime week. They just tell me on Thursday, and then I know, and then I plan for the week, and I don't know. So I finished meditation, and I'm like, wow, that was awesome. But like how you must endure SUNN, and this kind of pooped me, I kind of have to take a break from this too, and I could blitz this again. Blitz, blitz, blitz. I came back to this. I tried to finish this in like sitting in my bed, like I'm done for the week. That's it. I finished one of the books. I think there's 5 books in here. It's the first book. Let's see if there's a table of contents. And this is, while I do feel it is a cheat, it is a book. It's Batman. Like, get real. Frank Miller is a legend, and this is Gothos stuff. And it is such a break from this. It's like, that one is awesome, and it's so good. It'll make me, it's like, it will make me David Goggins reading. Like, I'll just destroy my knees running because I want to, because I choose to. I want to suffer in Gravity's Rainbow. This is my rest and recovery. Like, this has been great. So let's see if there's a table of contents. And also you got to get out of your zone for reading. Like I'm seeing it's kind of like doing lifting programming. So there is an introduction. There's Batman Year One. That's what I finished today. And then I read some notes from Frank Miller. I think there's 10 pages of Wanted, Dead or Alive Santa Claus. And then there's books. There's a big thing, The Mark of Batman by Alan Moore. It looks like a little essay. And then there is there another page? Not another page to the content. But then I do know that there is The Dark Knight 1, 2, and 3. The Frank Miller 1, 2, and 3. Or book 1, book 2, and book 3 of The Dark Knight Returns in here. So this is going to be another easy win. So yeah, man, very enjoyable, and it's just like it fills in the gaps in like, oh, I need a break. I've exhausted all my reading muscles. What can I do? But that's what I've been doing. I've been mainly Gravity's Rainbow. It's exceptional. It's very confusing. The main character is it's like his essence is starting to be questioned because his name keeps changing, and like the idea of being erased off of paper is actually happening. This book is something else, and no wonder everyone yaps about it so much. I already can't wait to reread it. It's already changing the way I annotate and the way I pay attention to things in books. But yeah, it's been that, and then the other thing that I've really been working on, I don't want to shift the channel or slow down my reading, but I have to understand the opportunity cost of things, and I can't just like all in all the time. It's like I can read when I can read, but also like I'd like to write, and I've been working on that. Like when I get home and it's like I have a bunch of pages left to read, or there's some stuff that I wanted to type, like I know you guys need content. I know you guys want to talk about books, but like we're going to talk about some writing too, because they're related, and I've set up my little space, and it's like I've kind of fallen into a routine when I decide this is how my pages are going to be. I was going for a page count, or not a page count, a word count, and I'm still kind of doing that, but right now I kind of have so much since we've begun talking about this with this one short story that has turned into a much longer story and has these tangents, and I'm like, you kind of got something here. And then I started watching the Brandon Sanderson videos. We talked about that last time, and I've been kind of binging those videos, but also not just like self-help binging videos on writing, but like actually like, okay, this is cool. Like when I'm at work, I can't do anything. Like I'm a welder, boop, down, headphones, podcast on. Let's talk about plot. Cool. So I try. That's how I try to like best use my time and my senses. Is that multitasking? I don't know. But that, and then I flip up my hood. I go over my toolbox, and I annotate. I write my notes. I write my notes for the. Oh, that would be interesting plot point. That would be an interesting twist. I don't know. Whoa, twist. You should write that. And I try to just this is what you should type tonight. You should type this tonight. And it's like, I do it by hand. That's a problem. And then I come home, and what I like to do is, I heard someone say that they listen to metal when they do this. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. So I put on the most brutal metal I can to like zone out the world. And it's like, all right, Joe, you got this many, to make this point of a chapter, because now we're going for chapters every time we go to write something down. This chapter is going to be 800 to 1,200 words, and I'll give myself 2, 3, 4 days to get that done. Or this chapter should be kind of quick, 500 to 800 words, and that's it. I put in some parameters. I did some math. I'm like, all right, I want a book that's like 120-ish pages, 100 to 120-ish pages. Each chapter is like 1 to 2 pages on A5. What do I got to do to get this done in X amount of time? It's going to be rough. It's going to be dirty. It's going to be gross. I need a rough draft. I need a real rough draft to then refine horribly. And I did that math, and it's like, okay, here's how you do that. And this is like my new approach. I do it standing, death metal. I go get some tea, and then I just, boom, it's like sprinting. Like, all right, here we go. Out, barfed it out. And then I just keep repeating that process. So I'm kind of falling into that process, but some reading has taken a hit from that. And it's, hey guys, I'm still reading the same thing. Didn't really do much else. And then I just worked a lot. So once again, sorry not last week. I'm going to try and keep it fresh for you guys. I'm back. So that's that. How has your week been? How has your reading been? Are you writing? Do you have any tips? Do you have any improvements for the channel? What do you think? How do I engage the audience more? I don't know, man. That was another thing with the change in how I approach making content. If you're just on YouTube with this, you'll see that I had a lot of old shorts on YouTube, and on Instagram I had a lot of reels, and these were just results of filming off of TikToks. Do you like the short content, or should I keep it just to these main long forms? And then on Instagram I've mainly been using it to just pictures, and then use underneath the caption space to use it like writing a little article, like use this space. Like I usually don't fill it out. It's like, hey, cool books, and then a bunch of hashtags, because there would be talking content. But now it's like, let's just use that as a practice of writing. So that's kind of where I'm steering Instagram. But like, do you guys like the little shorties? I don't know. I kind of need some feedback here. Once again, thank you. I wouldn't be here without you. Like and subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you. Much love. And yeah, let's endure the rest of the winter. I spent all day shoveling and snow blowing, and it's been... So, let's come, son. Let's go, son. Warmth. Happy reading. See you next week. 22 minutes, not bad. Later. Out.